I want to talk about this Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker fight. No one's really talking about it. All people are talking about are Anthony Joshua versus Wilder. I mean, people are overlooking this. I don't know how people can overlook this fight. You know, Joseph Parker is being disrespected as a champion. He's not Anthony Joshua's opponent. He's equal to Anthony Joshua. These guys are equal to each other because they are going for a unification bout. Now, Anthony Joshua does have two belts, the WBA and the IBF. Parker has the WBO, but they're both going for unification. This is a great fight. I don't understand why nobody even talking about it. People are assuming that Joshua is gonna go in here and walk all over Joseph Parker. I believe Joseph Parker has a great chance of winning the fight. He moves well in the ring. He has nice hand speed. He has good power. Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, I'll pick him to win the fight. I'm picking Anthony Joshua to win the fight by a late round stoppage. But I'm not 100% sure that Anthony Joshua is going to win the fight. But like I said, Anthony Joshua has the tools to beat anybody in the heavyweight division. Him and Wilder, they have the tools. I believe they are the big dogs, but they have to prove it. You know, what I say and what they do in the ring is two different things. I'm not going to disrespect Joseph Parker and overlook this fight and just talk about Wilder versus Joshua because this fight has to happen. We may have Parker versus Wilder. We may be talking about that after Saturday. You know what I mean? So it's a vacuum being created. I said this in a previous video. People are doing the same thing that happened with the Mayweather Pacquiao thing, to where I was part of it. We were focused more on the Mayweather Pacquiao dilemma and wasn't putting enough focus on these other fighters or talking about other matchups. I mean, we did it occasionally, but a lot of the videos out there, like 80% of the videos out there, were debates, back and forth responses, videos being made about Mayweather Pacquiao. Who's ducking who's ducking the other guy. So now a vacuum is being created by this by this Anthony Joshua and Wilder fight. Anthony Joshua and Wilder is not the only people that are boxing, man. We have a lot of great fighters, and we should be talking about other matchups, potential matchups, and shed some light on with these other fighters, man. Like, I'm looking forward to Horn versus Crawford. I'm looking forward to seeing Keith Thurman finally return and see his opponent. I wonder why it kind of baffles me a little bit why Keith Thurman hasn't announced his opponent yet. I would think he have an opponent announced yet. It kind of tells me that, man, I don't know how he's going to fight two times in 1 year. Or maybe he will fight two times in 1 year. Still, it's still going to be kind of clamped up. But let's look at this heavyweight picture, man. Because after Saturday, we're going to have one guy with three belts. We're going to have one guy with the IBF, the WBO, and the WBA. And then on things left is the WBC after this Saturday. So Parker and Joshua are going for undisputed. Not in this fight, but they on the road. They one step after this fight. Either Joshua or Parker will be one step from being undisputed. Now they have to go and climb a big mountain in Deontay Wilder to get there, but they will be one step closer. We'll be one step closer to an undisputed champion. Now I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't believe it's going to happen this year. I mean, I could be wrong. Things can change. Life changes. Everything is an ebb and flow. Maybe the winner of this fight say, "Oh, hey, I want Wilder right away." You know what I'm saying? So, but listen to Eddie Hearn and Joshua. If they win, I don't believe Wilder is next. Now, am I going to go to the ducking route? Am I going to go to say that Joshua is scared if he don't fight Wilder next? No, I'm not going to do that, because I have looked at Anthony Joshua's track record, and it shows that he's always trying to collect belts. Now he either wins the title, and then he has one or two fights in between before he goes for another title. So I don't see Wilder as a as a fighter that he's gonna fight until maybe next year, late next year, or early the year after that. So I know people, and I know we can be impatient as boxing fans, and we can say, well, if the guy don't fight the guy when I want him to fight him, then he's ducking. I don't believe that's the case because we don't know what's happening in these negotiations. We can speculate. Some things do come out. We do have more information than we had 10, 15 years ago, even those many years ago. We have more information, so things are getting out, but we're not privy to all the information. So we can't make a statement of somebody done someone based on fact. It only can be our opinion. Now, my opinion is Joshua gets to fight another fighter in between Wilder, or maybe another two fighters, and then I would like to see him fight Wilder. I would like to see him, you know, try to be undisputed, or give Wilder him and they give each other the opportunity to become undisputed because I want an undisputed champion. I want an undisputed champion in every weight class because the fact that it's so many belts all over the place is hard to. I mean, then people have to debate who's the better fighter and all this. That's why when it was one belt, it was better back in the day. When it was one belt, I know people don't want you to talk about back in the day, but it was better back in the day. People knew who the champion was, and then the champion fought the number one contender. He fought the number one, number two contender, number three contender. He fought in the top 10, and if he got knocked off, the other guy took the throne. I mean, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be 1,000 belts out here trying to figure out who the champion is, and then we got to figure out who's the lineal champion, who's the man that beat the man that beat the man. Now, so far, Fury is still the lineal champion by definition. He's the man that beat the man. Well, he's the man. He's the man that beat the man that became the consensus heavyweight best heavyweight champion because Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko, after his brother retired, you know, the he became the consistent consensus number one heavyweight by the work he did. I believe he went to a stretch when he was like 9 years of he was undefeated for 9 years. So yes, he deserved it. And Fury, the fight was boring. The fight was not a great performance by any of the fighters, but the fight was it is what it was what it was. Fury prevailed. He became the man that beat the man. He became the lineal champion. Now, then he had his drug problems and he got suspended for allegations of doping or steroids or whatever. And, he got stripped of his titles. And his titles, they just spurged everywhere. You know, Charles Martin had one of his belts. And then Stavern and Areola fought for the vacant title from Vitaly Klitschko. That's how they got that belt because when he retired, they fought for that vacant title. Then Stavern, they fought a rematch after that. Then Stavern fought Wilder. Wilder beat him. Then Wilder became the WBC champion. And then you had your boy. We had you had your boy Charles Martin fight. He won the belt, a vacant title. I believe it was vacant. He won it. Then he went overseas and fought your boy Joshua. And then Joshua fought Klitschko for the WBA vacant title. So that's how the titles became what they are now. Then Joseph Parker fought. So that means Joseph Parker fought for a vacant title against John Louis Jr. Was it John Louis Jr. he fought for the? Yeah, I believe John Louis Jr. So then that's how the belts became what they were. But yeah, after this week, man, this Saturday, I'm looking forward to a good fight. I think it's going to be a really, really good fight. Parker moves fairly well in the ring. He moves better to me than Joshua. Now, what I want to be looking with Joshua is what weight he coming in at and his stamina. Like, let's see if Joshua's stamina, because his last two fights, let's go into one versus the other guy that he fought. Forgot the guy's name. He looked tired, and he looked tired in the parts of the fight with Klitschko. He got his second win, and he looked tired towards the end against his other guy. So, I truly believe that Joshua will benefit from coming into the ring maybe 10 to 15 pounds lighter than what he's coming in the ring. Now, he did an interview and he said weight doesn't matter, size doesn't matter. As long as you can fight in the heavyweight division, you can win. So, you know, he under by him saying that, I mean, he understands that he don't have to be that big because the man is he's like a weightlifter. He got weightlifter size, and those muscles, along with all that water weight, your muscles carrying a lot of water. You need oxygen. You need oxygen to those muscles, and the bigger you are, like Big Baby Miller, he's like 300 pounds. I'm like, dude, why are you 300 pounds? Like, that's not going to benefit you when you get into a hard, tough, rugged fight, and that fight start going on in the later rounds. Now, Big Baby Miller has not been in a knockout, drag out fight. He has not been in a. To me, he has not been in. I haven't seen him in a tough fight. Now, maybe somebody else seen all his fights. I haven't seen all Big Baby Miller fights, but I don't remember seeing him in a tough fight yet to where he had to dig down deep. Now, his weight will become a problem when he get in a fight where he got to dig down deep. I can tell y'all that right now. Being 300 pounds is a little bit. I know in the heavyweight division, you do not have to be a certain weight. You can come in at any weight you want to come in, but 300 pounds is way too much to be coming in. Big Baby Miller is way too big, man. Like, how tall is Big Baby Miller? How tall is this dude? I don't think he's that tall either, man. I think he may be 6'2", maybe 6'3". Maybe he may be taller than that, but I don't know. How tall is Gerald Miller, man? But anyway, this fight right here is not getting to me enough publicity. Everybody's talking about Joshua and Wilder. What's going to happen with that fight? Let's talk about this fight. You know, let's break down this fight now. Like I said in my previous video, I think Parker is susceptible to an uppercut. When he fought Fury, he got caught by some uppercuts, and that's one of Joshua's best punches. And we seen when Joshua hit Klitschko with that uppercut, that was the beginning of the end for Klitschko. So I think Parker, because he was launching in versus Fury. I mean, he like to launch in, and he's gonna get in trouble if he do that versus Joshua. I think his best bet versus Joshua is to get all the way in because he does like to fight that rough, tough like Bernard Hopkins. He like to fight that type of fight. He like to fight that type of Andre Ward inside fight. Now, if he fight that type of fight and stay inside and keep Joshua on his back foot, maybe he can tire Joshua out and maybe the fight become more in his favor because he cannot fight Joshua from distance. He can't. I don't think he can fight Joshua from distance. I don't think it will pan out well for him. I don't know if y'all think different, but fighting Joshua from distance for Parker, because Parker is a little shorter. I believe Big Baby Miller. Okay. So that 300 pounds stretched over 6'4", but still, 300 pounds is just too much, man. Too much. But how tall is Anthony Parker? Joseph Parker. How tall is Joseph Parker? Joseph Parker is 6'4". Okay. We got a lot of tall heavyweights in this era. This is the era of tall heavyweights, and Joseph Parker only 26 years old. He got a 78-inch reach. What's Joshua's reach? I believe Joshua has a fairly decent reach. What is Anthony Joshua's reach? Let me see. Anthony Joshua. Give me a minute here. Looking it up. Anthony Joshua has an 82-inch reach. Wow. Okay. So he has stamina problems. You want to get on the inside of him. That get Anthony Joshua to wrestle with you on the inside. Because one thing about a guy that got stamina problems, you want him to use up his energy. You want him to use energy that he don't want to use. He doesn't want to fight on the inside, so you want him to use that energy of pushing, pulling with you, and you can use that. You can use that energy. How? Let me see. Okay, because let me see. I know Anthony Joshua usually come in at what 250. Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is not a little dude. He's not a little guy. He has some thickness on him. He's 247 pounds, so he's a big guy. So yes, he needs to get on the inside and early. I mean early, like round one, get on the inside. And about round 5 or 6, you may have Anthony Joshua breathing deep. You may be able to get an edge if this man gets a little tired because he got tired versus Klitschko, and Klitschko wasn't fighting on the inside. And he got tired for some reason. The man hit a wall. I don't know what happened, but the man hit a wall versus Klitschko, and Klitschko was not fighting on the inside. Klitschko wasn't pushing the pace hard. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice tactical fight, and all of a sudden he hit the wall, and that was right after he dropped Klitschko in the round before. Then he ended up hitting the wall, and then he ended up going down. So all fighters have weaknesses, man. All fighters have their weaknesses. Just you have to exploit them. You know what I'm saying? You have to be good enough to exploit their weaknesses. It's only a weakness if you be able to exploit it. If you can't exploit it, then then the weakness you don't have. They don't have the weakness versus you because you're unable to exploit it. But I think this is a good matchup, man. I think people need to start talking about this fight and other fights. Yes, I mean Wilder made it known that he want to fight Anthony Joshua. He made it be known publicly. He told Joshua publicly numerous of times. People we have made videos about it, and some people feel like what I'm saying that are Wilder supporters. I'm a Wilder supporter, but I don't feel that Joshua is ducking. Some people feel like Joshua is ducking. Some people said man is scared, terrified. When he said he was afraid of losing, he didn't say I'm afraid of losing to Wilder. He just said he's afraid of losing, period. Like he's afraid of losing. Now that doesn't mean that he won't compete because obviously he's still competing. He's fighting Parker. And people acting like Parker is like nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when he beat Parker, he gets a lot of credit from me. For one, he's unifying the titles. For two, he's being an undefeated fighter. So he gets a lot of praise from me for winning the fight. I don't want people to talk down Parker so much to where if Joshua knocked out Parker, then people are like, Parker was nothing anyway. No, Parker is a decent fighter, man. He hasn't shown me that he cannot rise to the occasion. He has rose to the occasion so far. He captured a title, a piece of the championship. So the man he gets my respect so far. And if Joshua prevail against him, to me that's a great victory. Just like when Wilder beat Ortiz, that was a great victory for Wilder. I know a lot of people they wanted to see Wilder fight Ortiz, and then when the fight got signed, people were saying Ortiz is old. No, I don't go by that. Ortiz, he although he was old, he didn't show that he was old in his fights. He still had spunk. He still had spark. He was undefeated. He was fighting well. Wilder, he just ran into a fighter that was a little bit better than him in Wilder that night. They both pushed each other. It was a great fight. Wilder was in trouble. He knocked down Ortiz and eventually knocked him out. So that was a great fight. I can't take away nothing from any of these guys, and these guys are fighting great opponents. Have they both have fought some great opponents, and they are both really good fighters in their own right. Now their greatness will be tested versus each other. Now we will see who's the greater if they fight. If Joshua is able to beat Parker, and Wilder and Joshua get made, now then we'll be in the presence of a potential great fight. So like I said, Anthony Joshua gets a lot of credit if he beat Parker. I don't want to hear nobody saying Parker wasn't nothing. No, I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that way. I don't feel like Joshua's ducking. I don't feel like he's scared. And when he said that he was scared of losing, it's a lot of people that say they're scared of losing. A lot of athletes say that. A lot of athletes say that. Now your actions show me that you, even though you're scared, you still want to go in there and risk it all. He's going in there. He's still risking it all versus Parker. If Parker beats him, he loses all his belts. He loses some of his status. He will have to build back up. I'm pretty sure it probably would be a rematch, but he will have to build back up. He will have to come back and fight Parker again. You know what I'm saying? And try to prevail. So when he said he's like, man, when an athlete says they scared of losing, there's a lot of people that are scared of losing, quote unquote. But I don't. Anthony Joshua wasn't saying he was. Some people jump to the conclusion, oh, he's scared of Wilder. How can you jump to the conclusion and say he's scared of Wilder if he said he's scared of losing? He's scared of losing to anybody. He's not scared of losing to only Wilder. He's scared of losing to anybody. That includes Parker. That includes all the guys he fought. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that came in and talked trash versus Anthony Joshua. This what kind of worries me. A lot of people talk trash versus Anthony Joshua, and he always end up knocking these guys out. You know what I'm saying? Dillian White. I seen the interviews with them. I seen the sit down when they had a sit down with that one guy. What's that guy's name over in the UK? He does a sit down. He does like the face off that Max Kellerman does. What's that guy? I get his name. Johnny Nelson. And White talked about him like a dog. Said you scared of me. I beat you up and do all that. And what he do to Dillian White? He knocked him out. What did Charles Martin do? Talked about him, said, I walk this earth like a god and all this stuff. And what did he do? He knocked him out. So when people saying something is one thing, I go by your actions. I'm not gonna go by words or what you say, because what somebody say, they can say something totally different in the next second, the next hour, the next day. If this man continuously knocking guys out that's talking bad about him, then that's what I'm gonna go by. Who cares about? Look, to me, I'm only excited. This for me. Some people different. I'm only excited about hyping up a fight if the guys sign the contract. If they got a contract signed and saying the fight is going to be on this day, they got the venue, then I'm all in for all the trash talking, because I know in the end these guys are going to fight. Some people want trash talking, and the guys don't have a date to fight. They don't have a venue to fight. They're not fighting each other. But people just want to hear them talk trash. I'm not that type of dude. Like I said, I'm not the dude to say when we in school, say, hey, we gonna fight when we get out of school, and then go out on the playground and talk to you for 20 minutes on why I want to fight you. No. If I say I want to fight you, when we get outside, hands are going to be thrown. We're not going to talk for 20 minutes. We're not going to talk for 30 minutes. We're not going to be all in your face, smelling your breath. You spitting in my face, I'm spitting back in your face because we're talking so close. No. Hands are going to be thrown. I don't care if he don't let Wilder in the ring. That doesn't make him scary, because maybe he don't want Wilder to upstage his thing that's going on. He's unifying title. Like he said, the only reason why he let Klitschko in the ring, because they had a promise that they was going to fight after that. He didn't say he wanted to fight Wilder after this. Now, if he said he wanted to fight Wilder after this, I'm pretty sure he would have let Wilder in the ring with no problem. I'm pretty sure he would have let Wilder in the ring. But like he said, the difference between the Wilder thing and the Klitschko thing is he promised Klitschko he was going to fight Klitschko next. So it made sense for them to start the promotion for the fight right then and there. Because guess what? It turned into a fight because they had it all mapped out. That stuff was all planned. Now, what if Wilder get in the ring, get in his face and say, I want to fight you, you scared of me and all this, and they have a little thing, people won't be all excited about that, and then the fight don't happen for a year, 2 years down the line. So what did that do for you? So you happy that they got in each other's face? No. I want to see hands strong. I'm in the group of throwing some hands. That's all I got to say about it. Let me know who y'all pick in the comment section. I'm out.